Welcome back to the show, everybody. I am Mr. Choi, and I am back to being your host. Thankfully, last week's episode was an absolute train wreck.
You hear this guy?
This is Chatting It Up at Chatsworth, episode 5, your weekly talk all about music, high school life, and everyday life. This week's guests are half new and half old. You've seen him before. Who are you again?
Yo. Welcome back to the 3 Mix. It's Richard Maroquin.
And I'm Chris. They call me the villain here.
I've never actually heard him be referred to as the villain, but okay. Well, Chris, since you're new to the podcast, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I've been in this band program for roughly almost 2 years. Last year, I came in with absolutely no experience. I mean, on this orchestra for like maybe 2 years from elementary to 1 year middle school before it was cut short by the quarantine. Then I just forgot everything, and then I came here in my junior year and was picked basically for like the whole thing. And then this year, I started playing trumpet. It's my first year playing trumpet, and it's been overall kind of a blast.
Could you tell us a little bit about what caused you to come into band?
Peer pressure.
I'm here.
So it started in AP Lang. We were just talking about, and me and Richard were sitting in the same table with Kato and like everyone else. And then it just kind of came to the question, you guys have like a drum kit? Because I remember I got to church and I was like, wow, there's a lot of, I always thought the drums were interesting. And then I was like, you should totally join us. I was like, I'll see. Then I joined in, and then he just kind of peer pressured me to go in. And I got into a practice session. I was like, so what am I supposed to do? And then I just kind of got here.
You see, for the record, I just want to say it's entirely his fault. You mentioned music around me. You mentioned that you used to do music, and I'm like, you should join band, and I won't stop until you give me a straight up yes or no.
Is that true? Did he say that?
He basically did.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I was too scared to say no.
Well, hindsight's 2020.
No comment.
Was there like any part of you that wanted to say no?
Not really. I mean, the only reason why the only thing I could think of why I want to say no is because I was already starting my wrestling season. Because that time I just got into the sport. Yeah. And at that time I also just joined yearbook. Yes, graduated senior here. Yes, clap for me. But I don't know who this guy is. But so I was like, I'm adding a little too much on my plate. And I originally wanted to do video production because I was like in love with like filming, videoing, camera work and all that. So that's why I took yearbook, but my counselor kind of ruined me. They know who they are. So then when second semester had around, I love Miss Tiny and all, and she's an amazing teacher, but I can't do any more journal entries, so I just swapped my fourth period, changed my chemistry, and then have free first period, and that's how I got into the concert.
Free first period, huh?
It was very free.
Yeah, okay. Well, since one of our guests is a repeat and one of them's new, I don't want to fully commit to Chris, but at the same time, I don't want to have Richard repeat the same question. So we'll get one more kind of like intro question in, and then we'll dive into the main bulk of our episode today. So how would you grade this year as a whole? Doesn't have to be only band, it can be everything.
This year as a whole. So my senior year.
Are you whispering?
Because I got whisper.
Oh
So this senior year for me, I'll rate it a 7.5. Mainly because there was some conflictions going on, personally with my life, mental health and all that. And then I hurt in my knee, and then I became a little bee and just stopped wanting to wrestle for a little bit. Then I came back and I was washed, and that was an amazing way to start off the year. I was stressing over the music that you handed out for the marching band. I was like, I only know like 2 of them by heart. I don't even know I'm playing them right. I listen to the music in my sleep, at the gym, at everywhere I could think of on YouTube. I have YouTube Premium for a reason. And
weird flex, but okay.
No ads. Then also I was taking 3 APs as well because I thought 1 AP was too easy. Then I decided to tank AP Calc because I'm a senior and I love I want to use my free will.
I do the same thing. I call it prioritizing my happiness.
Actually, think about it. I love Mr. Gardner and I love Mr. Cooper and all. But and I was doing well with their classes. I had B. Then one test I got a C. Then one final I got an F. So I don't like optimization. Ooh, if you know what that is, you know.
You're talking optimization in the concept of the class or the word optimization as in general?
Optimization, where you have to find out the derivative.
Okay. So you're meaning in the
Math.
concept. Okay, I was gonna say because if you don't like optimization just in general, that's crazy.
But overall for this year of band too, because that was also one of the highlights of the years. You know, qualifying for states, crazy. I was like, wow, I only been here for 2 years and I already made a state. That was easy.
Southern California, but we'll go with state. Makes us look better.
Southern California. Southern California is cooler. Then
So you said 7. That was your number.
oh,
Or
7.5.
7.5?
7.5.
All right. not
Wrestling
bad.
season was good. School was pretty fun and met some new people too.
Nice. Okay, so let's start with a new question here, and both of you guys can answer this one. And we're not even. This is not even like band related. It's just how do you feel about the end of a school year?
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Oh, you go first. I've been talking too much.
So end of a school year, I mean, we're seniors, both of us here, so it hits a lot harder than it would have been the end of junior year, end of sophomore year, end of freshman year. It's just, it kind of feels like the end of something that you've been participating in for so long. Like just us, we had our final concert. That was the end of the band era, I guess, for me. I mean, not for me, but for basically everyone else, because I'm still continuing music, of course. But now I'm finishing high school, and that I've been being schooled for the last 14 years now, since pre-K I've been going to school. And it's just and it's just crazy to think, even though I'm going to college, that just the regular schooling that's basically required of me is over now. And it's just I have to figure out what I'm going to do afterwards. And I think that's the most interesting part to me.
It's kind of crazy to think about that this is going to be my last school year of, high school, of LAUSD as a whole. I felt like this year has went by really fast.
Really?
Yeah, because I remember freshman year, it was very slow, and I was like, dude, I can't wait to get out of school. I actually, even now, I'm still saying I can't wait to get out of school. I really want to go and work and do all that stuff. But thinking back, like especially like in 4th grade, it's crazy thing about like, wow, I was playing Rainbow Six Siege at one day, and now I'm gonna graduate. And I see like a bunch of my other friends graduating from different schools. I was like, wow. And knowing that we're gonna be one of the last schools to graduate, or that's why I think at least it's.
We're one of the last schools.
I feel like no, Canoga. I know Canoga is.
No. It's not like I don't care necessarily like who's after us, but like we're like one of the last.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal the mic for this
Yeah,
one.
go ahead.
Because I was talking to my friend in Burbank, who I've known since elementary school, by the way, just pointing that out. Her graduation was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and then as far as I know, JFK's graduation is the day after ours. There's
You
a
still
few.
have to come to school.
Yeah, they still have to come to school.
Oh, that's brutal. For
And
2
then-
extra weeks.
Exactly.
Oh.
Wait, sorry. No, I don't think they've gone to school.
Oh.
No, yeah, they've been done. They started a bit earlier than us, and they ended a bit earlier than us. I don't recall which other schools, but I do know other schools have their graduation this week. I know other schools have had their graduation last week. Most of them being on Fridays, ours being a weird Tuesday. So
Wow. Okay, because I know where I went to high school. We only had 4 high schools in our city, so it's not like LAUSD where it's like 900 or something. What?
He broke it.
Oh no, it's this part got unscrewed. Just it's wrist tighten it and then it'll get fixed. But going back while they're fixing that, back in my where I'm from, we only had 4 high schools. So what they did was they used my school's stadium for the graduation ceremony because it fit the most people and it was the nicest. It was like a bowl. So like the last week of school, let's say I think school usually ended on a Thursday for us. So like one school would be on Monday, and then it'd be on Tuesday, and then Thursday, and then Friday, and they would rotate that every other year. So for some reason when I came here, I forgot that that's always a possibility. I just assumed everybody's graduation was next Tuesday. But the fact that some of them have been done already, I'm just like, why did we get the short end of the stick? Because I feel like we've always been one of the last ones to graduate. But
I'd say it mostly has to do with just how big LUSD is. It's what, the second biggest school district, or is the second most populated? One of the
Second
two.
biggest.
Massive.
okay. Oh my god.
It's a giant school district, so very clearly that means a lot of schools have to have their staggered graduations.
Yeah.
So it's just very big. Yeah, that's it.
So talking about the end of the school year, how do you guys feel about how it's handled, like for seniors in specific?
I feel like this year, like definitely overall, just senior year from like the admins and all that stuff, I feel like
You can just hold the mic.
It's okay, I got it.
maybe is a lot. I'm not trying to hate, but definitely kind of feels a bit unprofessionally weird. It's crazy to think that grad night takes place a day after our graduation. Then you have to go around and plan a senior sunrise in the rain, and then at the same time have the senior talent show and sunset at the same day, which is not a bad idea. But then they moved the rehearsal from during the school day to after school, so then we had to rush our rehearsal, and you will not guess what happened during the talent show. Mic checks were like off.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Two of my friends, they were singing the song, and then their mics were just cut off. And I was like, wow. They handed me a mic, and that mic just turned off for my thing. I was like, wow. But it feels like they're like starting to not care about us less. And I don't know much about last year, but I feel like last year was handled way better than this year.
Unfortunately, I can't really speak to what happened last year, but
Yeah, I'd say for me, it feels like a bit of lack of professionalism, honestly. Lack of communication, too. Like Chris just mentioned about senior sunrise, senior sunset, talent show. There was so many small little details that were honestly pretty important, but they were never mentioned to us. Because, like, during our sunrise, the day it happened, there was a rain warning. So they were like, okay, if it rains, we'll just hold it inside the auditorium and play the background with a sunrise, which is just absolutely dystopian in the worst possible way. And then for a good while, they refused to do refunds for senior sunrise tickets. So then they ended up having to reschedule because so many students petitioned to the principal to get their refunds or to change the date. So they ended up being forced to do that. It was the funniest thing that happened this year, honestly. But it was so unprofessional, so uncoordinated that it'll stay in my mind forever, honestly.
remind me again, senior sunrise and senior sunset are things part of the senior package that you pay for?
Yes.
So, and then this is not, I'm not trying to, because I'm going to defend what they're saying right after this, but what are you paying for?
Food that eventually will go cold and untouched, and then dude just hand it out for free.
Really?
Sorry.
Just take the mic. I didn't buy the package, so I honestly don't know.
I didn't buy the package either. I know a good amount of friends that did bought the package, and they had a good time too. But when I had my senior sunset, and I was hungry, when me and Uriel went to the cafeteria, and then Garner was like, "Want some?" I was like, "For free?" Like me, I didn't pay a single dime, and I was like, "Look at that guy over there. He paid like $100-something for that."
Wow.
Though the chicken was cold, it was so good. It was Raising Cane's. I'll eat that any day of the week.
Okay, I was just curious because I don't think I did anything like that when I was in high school, but it just doesn't make sense to have to pay for something that you go to school at because it's at school, right? I'm assuming.
It is at school. It's at the quad.
Again, you don't need to.
Just in case you guys didn't hear that, it is at our school. It's at the quad.
Yeah, so it just doesn't make sense that you would have to pay for it, and the fact that they weren't even willing to refund if you guys had to get put into the gym and just watch like a screen of it, that was weird. But to now defend the like other side, I think if my memory serves me correctly, every senior class is led by specific teachers who volunteer to lead them through the year. I don't remember who is doing this year's seniors, but it does contribute to who is volunteering and how busy they are, because sometimes it is difficult to manage, what they're doing in their specific classroom with all things that they're going on or they're doing, and then also making sure that all the senior stuff gets worked out and scheduled and everything. And that has to coincide with all the other events happening on campus. So, it is a challenge. I could see why, but I do see your guys' point. I'm never gonna volunteer myself to do that crap because I know I'm too busy to do it. But yeah, I can see why it'd be a little bit weird. Yeah,
It's very hectic.
yeah. It seems like it. Because I know sometimes like teachers ask me like, how do you get stuff like scheduled? I'm just like, I mean, you don't have your stuff scheduled already?
Yeah, like this guy does stuff a year in advance. Like, what is it? Band camp came around and you already had the concert date set up. Was it? Yeah, band camp, freaking July, maybe August at the latest.
Well, spoiler alert.
Last year.
We have a calendar meeting today at 2:00,
Oh.
and I haven't bad teacher me, but I can do that easily by 2:00 today. I'm gonna give them my winter concert date, spring concert date, Chatsworth Festival day, banquet, and I believe that's it. So four big dates that I want to have scheduled immediately, just because that's just kind of how our system works. We want to have those things as early as possible, and because I know if I don't, there's going to be a massive ordeal with the people in charge of the stuff. I don't want to go into detail about it, but yeah.
Even with that, you never know when there's another strike.
Oh my God! Yeah. Okay. A little bit of a tangent I wasn't expecting to take. I set this year's spring concert last June. What was our concert? April 30th?
April 30th.
Yeah. So I was just like, I feel like that's a really good date because it's not too late and it's definitely not too early like we've done in the past. So I'm just like, I really love that date. It's good. Nobody had any problems with it. That all the testing that's going on would be done by then, but right before APs, which is what I want to do. So perfect. Let's get that done. Around, I think it was like March, when the teacher union finally was like, okay, district is not listening to us. We're definitely going to want to start preparing for a strike. So I'm just like, well, crap, that sucks because they're saying it's going to happen in April, and that's when my concert is. So I'm just like, oh God. April comes around, they're like, we have a date. I think it was like the week before.
It was the week before. If memory serves me right, should be the 17th that it was
Yeah.
rumored to start.
Yeah. So it was planned for a week before the spring concert. So I'm like preparing my kids like, okay, on Monday, because it started on Tuesday, take your instruments home, practice. This has to fall on you guys to make sure that you're doing your job because I can't do anything about it. We're not allowed to be on campus. I'm not crossing the picket line, even though it's my festival or concert and everything. So I'm freaking out. Tuesday morning, 3 in the morning.
3 a.m.
3 a.m. The district finally gives in and says, okay, we reached an agreement. Everyone's coming back to school. What, like maybe 30% of the school actually showed up that next day?
Yeah, what bothers me the most about that is that we were told that if they didn't have a decision by 12 a.m. of Monday, or I guess Tuesday, that school would be canceled on Tuesday. So 12 o'clock rolls around, there's no decision. I decide, hey, I'm going to sleep in because obviously we're not going to school. This is like the perfect day for me to sleep in. I wake up about half an hour later than I need to be to actually get to school, get ready, get to school. And my mom tells me, hey, Richard, there's school today. And I was like, what? And they were told, yeah, we didn't know either until we woke up. So I arrived, I think, like minutes late still. I normally arrive minutes late, but the point is, it bothered me so much that I didn't want to go to school. And then I go to school, barely 40% of the actual population's here. And just like, I could have gone to sleep. I could have just gone back to sleep.
I ruined my breakfast schedule because of that. I will always make egg before I go to school, so I have something to eat. But once I like slept in, I will like from now on I just start sleeping in. I don't know if the senioritis is starting to grow on me, but
Or Chris's breakfast schedule got messed up.
now I had to eat the school lunch or school breakfast, and if that isn't good, then I go hungry.
Yeah, it's just like, and it messed with everybody, students, teachers, even admin too, I'm sure. Because I didn't know about the 12 like a.m. deadline thing, but it's just like, as a district, you have to understand that there was a strike scheduled for X date. If you're going to announce that there is no strike, literally, well, I think like 5 hours before school starts to say, oh, no, we're not striking. And I just think it's very unprofessional. So, massive tangent. I've remembered where I was coming from. I'm going to give them my dates for next year's performances and all that stuff. Obviously, there's no way in hell there's going to be an actual strike next year because we just negotiated our contract this year. And that I think it's maybe good for, I would say maybe 3 to 5 years at least. Maybe. So we shouldn't have to worry about any strikes. And obviously you guys don't have to worry about it because you're not going to be here next year. So I don't got to worry about it. Why'd you sulk in your chair? I thought you said you're happy to be done with high school.
I am. That's me being a chud.
Oh my goodness, this freaking word, bro. Okay. All right, let's move on. You guys have any plans for the summer now that you're freshly free from high school?
Okay, well, for me, not many plans. One, I'm officially gonna get my license, and start driving around, learning that. Honestly, the only reason why I haven't gotten it before now is because I've honestly been a little scared about driving. A little bit of childhood trauma from car accidents, but it's become a necessity now that I'm going to college, that I just kind of need to force myself to get over it. And I don't know, besides that, I really want to go to the Rose Bowl and watch DCI. I really want to do a last band Six Flags trip that we only really had it my freshman and sophomore year. We didn't get to do it my junior year, but I really want to see if we can do a final one for my senior year. And I don't know, just get ready to transition from being a high schooler to being a college goer.
I'm going to use my mom's credit card to give me in and out for every day.
First he's talking about breakfast. Now he's going to steal his mom's card and get in and out. Like, what the heck?
In all seriousness, I want to, same with Richard, get my driver's license. I want to start finding a job and save up to get me a car. I want to get out of the house more. That's the plan for the summer. Go on more hikes, be more active, go on more runs because I lost my running shoes and I need to get back into the grind. And definitely probably go out and do some social activities out of school, so I don't have to I'm gonna have to worry about probably making new friends. So being more socially active so I could kind of level up, because as an individual I don't really put myself out there or talk to multiple people. I only have a close friend circles. No, a close circle full of friends. And
wait, what did you say? The close circle, close friend of. No, he said close friend of circles.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say he meant to say a close knit, or yeah.
Nice.
I mean the mic back.
Nice.
Corrected me, but he got it wrong too. But yeah, definitely be more socially active, more physically active, put myself out there in the world, give me a car, give me a job, and just have fun while I guess I'm still enjoying, because it's gonna be the last summer. Even though I'm done with school, for me I consider the last summer of high school my senior summer. Then after that is college, and then that's where the real adult life begins. I'm just going to do in addition to more summer. Yeah, I don't know what this guy's talking about.
So we've heard Richard talk about him moving into music after high school. Really quickly, Chris, what were you planning on doing after high school?
I want to go to Pierce College and study in mechanical engineering.
Okay.
You got the brains for that?
I think so.
Dang. And again, I'm not insulting Chris's intelligence. I'm just saying mechanical engineering is like smarty smart stuff.
I heard.
And it's competitive. Yeah, I saw a post a couple days ago. It was like top 10 or 5 most competitive fields, and engineering is like one of them, So
Yeah, honestly, I'm not surprised you're not going to trade school for that. Just like community college and then transfer to trade school, or just straight up college, then a higher education, or.
Yeah, definitely go to Pierce College and go to a higher education. Maybe go to like a UC or whatever. It's cheaper that way, and I for sure don't have the bucks to go into a UC right away. I'm not really trying to be in debt in like 100K down the drain by 21.
yeah, I that's one of the things that, even though my diploma does not have the like regency of some of these other people's, like my sister, my wallet is so much more thankful. My student debt, if because in this society there's a thing called credit, and you keep just paying because that shows your consistency. But if society was based on, oh, you got enough money to pay this off, boom, you're done, you are perfect. I could pay off my student debt today, no problem. My sister, on the other hand, not going to expose her numbers. She definitely could not. And she went to Davis. I went to CSUN. So the difference between my tuition and debts versus hers, completely different. Yeah, it's crazy what UCs are asking. But again, in case this is my opinion. It's not a guarantee that this is actually how it is, but when you go to UCs or these private schools, realistically, what you're paying for is your diploma saying that name. That's really what it is. Because I went to a state school, that's my only bias, but I truly believe that state schools give you a more personal education. UCs are kind of more just supply and demand. We got all these kids, they're paying us for it, we're going to put our name on it, just get them in. States feel a little bit more like intimate, a little bit more personalized for you to help you kind of, get through it and make you feel confident after you're done with everything. So yeah, it's expensive. I can't deny that. So with your guys' luxuries now, take the freaking 2 years of community college, bro. That will help out so much. When I was in high school, community college was kind of seen more as like the trash path, oh, you're going to community college, man, you must suck. Nowadays, it's like, that's so smart. Like, just do that. It's a good transition year before you head into university. So yeah, it's crazy how much the stigma has changed.
Yeah, and it's crazy how it's only changed in about a decade or so too. Because my sisters, my oldest sister is 14 years older than me, and my other sister is 12 and a half years older than me. So they graduated high school. Both of them went into community college, different colleges. I think one went to Mission and the other went to Valley College, or it might have just been LA City College. But one of them went on to transfer to UCLA, I believe it was. So my oldest sister, yeah. But she was always talking about how if you're gonna go to college, Richard, you're smart. I know you can go straight to a UC or a CSU, and it's just I got into a CSU just straight off the bat. The thing is, it's just I don't have the money for it personally. I could always ask my parents for help, but I've already asked my parents for help for so much. I just don't want to keep depending on them for everything, right? And regardless, it's just so much cheaper to go to community college first and then transfer. And honestly, I wouldn't be wasting any time simply because you already have to do your GEs, first years of CSUs, UCs, right? So doing my GEs for free, essentially, and then just transferring over to another school to get my master's, bachelor's, just etc. It's just so much smarter, so much cheaper, so much effective. And you might be waiting a year or two longer, but you save so much time, so much money. It's just so much more efficient, and I just don't know how. I guess I just won't experience how different it was 10 years ago. That is just so interesting to me.
Yeah, because I was a straight from high school to university. I There was a few times where I kind of definitely did waste my money, because something, in case if you guys don't realize, you pay for your classes, and if you fail the class, that's money just straight down the toilet. And there's no high school counselor saying, "Oh, just do this and make it up, and then you'll be fine." You got to do an entirely different class in an entirely different semester and pass that one, or else you're SOL, So, yeah, there were definitely times where I failed and I had to just make it up, and it pseudo delayed, my progress during time in college. But yeah, when you're doing Pierce, highly suggest you guys take it seriously, get it done, don't waste time. So that way, when you get to actual university, you'll kind of be more up to speed on the college life, and you won't waste money. That's the big deal. So, yeah, okay. Before we move on to everybody's favorite segment, we'll go ahead and remind our guests and our viewers that I allow you guys to ask me one question about anything. I have to answer it. Whenever you're ready, you just let me know, unless if you have one right now.
Not right now for me.
I'll ask one right now.
Oh, all right. He's ready to go.
When you were a senior in your high school years, did you feel like you lived up to its fullest?
Oh, I always love thinking about.
Good question, nephew.
I always love thinking about my high school life, because, man, I was such a little butthead, bro. I tell my kids this all the time, so I'm not ashamed of it. I thought I was the greatest trumpet player, bro. I didn't have any competition in my band. That part of the reason why I thought this way. I got drum major. I was really happy about that, because I held a lot of pride in music, and I cared about music, and I wanted to make a difference. But I've shared this story with a few of my students, but in case if you never heard it, you guys, I'll let you know. Here in my program, I gave out 2 awards for jazz and for concert band, stating that this senior is above and beyond all these other seniors, and they are truly worth their weight in gold, and blah 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 blah. I felt like I put my heart and soul into my program. I gave everything to them. I worked so hard and all that stuff. End of the year came around. He did the votes. I didn't get either. So I was really bummed out, because I was just like, so I did all that for nothing. And to be honest, it did kind of like hit me, for a few years. Even though I was pursuing music still, I was just like, damn, did I really waste all that time just to not like have anything? But when I really think about, especially hindsight's 2020, where I am now in my life, I think I lived up to my expectations. I lived up to my standards when I was back then. Because regardless of that particular award, I know I tried my hardest. I did everything I could. All those honor groups and everything, I participated in them. I made them. I was, top half in every group. I think actually I was lead trumpet in honor jazz band, so that was really fun. Oh man, that responsibility was scary. Because like obviously, I was used to playing it by my senior year, but like being lead in jazz was like a completely different monster. So I definitely got some more learning out of that. But I've talked to my high school band director about this too, and I've kind of moved on from it. Now, and every time I bring it up, it's more just like jokey, because it's high school. It's not that big of a deal. But I definitely do think that what I did, how I did it, and how I feel after it now, I think it was worth it, and I think I lived up to it. Because that's really all that matters. If you're somebody who was in a leadership role or felt like you were a leader in a particular program, and you got the achievements that you wanted, and you felt the way you felt, then I think that's all that matters. We brought back, God, I don't even remember, maybe like 7 to 9 trophies that year. So with a few sweepstakes in there as well, so that was nice. But again, my band was a 6A, and there were not many 6As in our area, so of course we're gonna get sweepstakes because 6As just automatically score better than lower bands. I definitely think my area's judging panel was not the best. After like doing this circuit, yeah, I don't know if we scored as accurately as we should have, but
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, you said your band was a show style band. Yeah.
yeah.
And our show this year was Ka. I think I remember you telling us that you also did Ka. Was it your freshman year?
Mm-hmm.
So wow. I personally want to point out just how full circle I guess it is. Just you played Ka your
Yeah.
freshman year, and then this year, the first year that we qualify for state championships, 12th
State
place, a
again.
humble 12th place, but still beautiful nonetheless.
Yeah.
We end up qualifying
Southern
for
California.
state champs. I don't know, it's just beautiful, just like full circle things that come by with that.
Yeah. When you really, you put your everything into stuff, I do feel like you'll get moments like that. Obviously I had a lot of power in picking Ka because, I get to have the last say, but I knew it was a good show. I liked it. I thought it was effective, and, clearly it was effective. So, yeah, good question.
And since we're pseudo on the topic, what is your biggest regret regarding this band?
This band?
Yes. Biggest regret. Could be anything from when you first started the job or just this year alone. Thank you.
I know you guys are killing me. Oh man. Giving myself some time to think. This week's episode is a little bit special because we are actually in finals right now, so we're not bogged down by the standard 30 minutes of lunch. So yeah,
For
we're
sure.
still really good on time.
For sure, gonna be the longest episode he'll have for months.
And also, firing it off, could potentially be the last episode of this year. Just because, this is pretty much our last regular week of school, and I don't want to film during band camp. So, yeah.
They saved me because I'm the best for last.
Okay. Well, it was supposed to be last because I thought more people would show up, but I guess these teachers are very... No, I don't want to use that word. Anyway, okay, so biggest regret. Let's stop stalling here. I think I'm torn between two. Should I say both of them or should I just pick one?
Flip a coin if you must.
Oh, God.
I have a coin.
Oh, okay. I was going to use the electronic one. Okay. Heads will be... I got to actually figure out which one I want to make one and two. Hold on. What did I say? It was the...
I
Oh,
can
okay.
barely-
Yeah, okay. Heads will be one, tails will be two.
I can barely flip coins, so here you go.
Oh my goodness gracious! Make the host do all the freaking
Fate's in your hand.
Okay, yeah, okay. Here we go. Oh boy, that's tails, so that's two. Okay. So he made me do it. So if you want to know the other one, you'll have to stick around for next season.
Got to keep you on your toes.
And it's necessarily not your guys' fault, but at the same time it kind of is, but don't take it personally. My biggest regret is not understanding that prior teachers were not doing things that they should have been doing for you guys. So what I mean by that is I found myself getting mad at my bands over the last 5 years about very small, minute things. And I kept wondering, why can't they just do it? What is it? Why is it so hard? Why am I getting so mad about it? And the longer I kept teaching, the more I started realizing they probably are doing this because they don't know. Their prior teachers, their family, or whoever is, keeping them in this probably wasn't telling them what to do, And this is no disrespect to any of these kids' former teachers because I know them personally. I think they're all doing great jobs as a program, but it's hard as music teachers to individualize things for their students because we have to teach for the band, So I think that was my biggest regret, was not catching that sooner. I was lucky in the fact that my predecessors heading into high school did what they needed to do. And when I came to high school, I didn't let my teacher drag me. I kept pace with him. I made sure to improve on my own. So it comes from my upbringing and it comes from my experiences that kind of caused this regret to come about. But I had to remember that, not everybody's the same. Kids, especially kids in LA, did not have the same experiences that I had. So that was definitely a pretty big regret for me, is just being mad at them for things that they didn't know because it wasn't their fault. But let's be honest, at the same time, the things that I was getting mad at should have been things that high schoolers, should just be aware of, like the biggest one that I always talk about is practicing, Every time I see, especially when I was getting really mad at them, all these kids would practice would be the things that they could play, They would practice, pick a field show, any field show.
Summer of Love.
I don't
Is that
even.
the one show you
No,
can't
it's
remember?
not. No, it's not that I can't remember. It's just I don't remember like any of like the parts of the songs. So yes, I actually don't remember.
Nice. Okay, then
We'll just
change
go
the
call.
show.
We'll just go call.
Yeah, call.
So like the beginning of Cog, I'll be trumpet because I'm a trumpet player. Trumpets start with da, and then da. I'd hear kids practicing that, and then we get to the part where it's bum 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 bum, which is pretty technically demanding because it's tongued, it's fast, and that wouldn't be as clean. So I'm just like, why are you guys not practicing that? And they're like, we are practicing, but they don't hear the part where I say that.
But I was practicing.
Oh my God, I'm not. But yeah, I think I would say that's probably my biggest regret. It's just not really picking up on different experiences across mine and my students.
Yeah,
So,
proving his point over here. It's hilarious.
yeah. Well,
Anyways.
okay. Let's move on to our favorite subject. Man, we're gonna get a freaking 3P for this guy. Who are we throwing shade at this week? It's getting a little bit difficult now that the school year's ending, but
Chris, you got this first.
Can it be anyone?
yeah.
The freaking judges from the talent show. You want to know what they score me? So,
What?
let me tell you the whole thing, all right? So, we're the biggest band. Let's say, so we're the biggest band.
How many were in your group?
It was 7,
Jesus.
including me,
Why?
because we're cool.
I don't think that's an answer, but okay.
They had 3 guitarists.
bruh.
2 rhythm, 1 lead.
Now I know why the judges probably were not very nice to you. Anyway, go on.
No, they were not nice for some other reasons, but
Where
that.
you going? No.
No. Hi, Lawrence. So, we played this song called "Roommates" by Malcolm Todd, and we actually controlled the whole crowd. The crowd was they were clapping, they were singing, they were like screaming, they're like ah! Like right before I even get to anything, I was like, whoa, yo, I'm doing nothing, and then they're loving it, and then once our first set ended, they planned to they wanted us to play again. They were like again. I was like encore, and then we did encore, so we did Creep. And then and the whole crowd was singing, like you could probably hear them crying, bro. Like
Crying?
it was a good song.
No way, they were crying. Come on.
Okay, well they were loving it. Okay. Like everyone was loving it. And at the end of the showcase where we did awards, we didn't even get top 3 nor top 5. I think we might have got last place with a 0.6 out of 4, because they were grading harshly on us.
0.6?
I think from
Ouch.
what the text been telling me, they really did not like our encore. I feel like it's because we went way over than we were supposed to, and we weren't the last act, even though we originally were the last act.
I would say that's probably a big reason, but
Yeah, and we that was pretty much it. The judges, they only like piano players. So.
yeah, because I know who took first and I know who took third. Oh wait, no, I think I know who took first, second, and third, because you guys got third, right? Yeah, okay. So I know the top 3, and the first one was a piano player. I think the second one was a piano player.
They were good. I will give them that. Like They were really good, and that's playing. I can't play keyboard for anything. I'll probably break my fingers if I even try doing that. But I felt like we should at least got top 5, top 4, possibly fighting for top 3 with them. A bunch of people said we should have got at least top 1 because we had
Top one.
top 1.
Not winner, but top one. How many groups were there total?
From what I think there was 14 acts.
Oh,
14
You
acts.
guys got last? Bro, I'm not even saying that to make fun of them. They told me who some of the acts were, and they made it seem like some of them were just like doing like, family karaoke. And for those of you who know, family karaoke is not very good. So yeah, that's crazy. That's a good one. I'll ask you about who the judges were, not on the podcast. I'll ask it later. Richard, you got somebody?
So I initially had a different person, but since this guy decided he was going to talk about the talent show, I'm going to shade Chris a little bit. So no shade to the band at all. No, not to the band. They did well. I definitely agree that they should not have gotten anywhere near last place. But my first part of the shade, I told this guy, unless the audience requests it, do not do an encore.
They did. We heard again.
That is not what I remember. What I remember is the curtains closed. You walk out through the middle of the curtains and you start saying encore, encore, encore.
They were saying again. They were saying again.
I was in the audience.
Why? Yeah, you not heard the front because you're all the way in the back.
Sure.
Of course you won't hear the front. We heard again. The bands heard again. I was like, they're wanting encore. We were like, let's do it. And that's when I peeked through the curtain. And I was like, encore.
And then the funny part about that is the curtains were closed, right? So he just kind of like took over, and that's almost definitely what the judges like pooped on their score for. I was also really confused about why they decided to switch acts last minute, because the guy who got first place did end up going last.
Oh,
But
that's so scripted, bro.
It is scripted.
Oh.
These guys were initially scripted to go last in performance because they were most likely to do an encore performance, but they ended up getting switched to second to last. So I understand why they wanted to take over and force an encore, but the point still remains that he forced the encore, and it was just so funny to me. That's the first bit of shade that I was gonna point out. The second bit of shade, I told this guy also, he couldn't really change it because this was a last minute thing. But during the rehearsal, they did the performance.
He's gonna shit on my singing.
I'm gonna shit on the singing a little bit.
That's all I gotta say.
Language warning. Sorry about that.
Sorry, this isn't gonna get monetized anymore. Sorry about that.
I swear.
Yeah, you did.
What did I say?
You said shit.
Shade. I said shade.
Oh, well, then Richard said the.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't care. Regardless, it was after the practice rehearsal, right after school ended. We're walking over to Fluky's, which is this really nice restaurant nearby our school, and he and the other guy in his band group, they were straight up, okay, Richard, tell us honestly, what did you think of our act? And I said, I think the musicians did really good, but next time you do a performance, pick a song that's in the vocalist's range.
Who was singing? Do I know them? Oh, and was
Hello.
it too low or too high?
It was too high.
Bruh.
Wait, in my defense, it was the first time I was using a mic. Usually, I was never using a mic. Second time is I wasn't really trying.
That is such a BS excuse.
That
You
is a BS
never
excuse.
say,
And
I
don't
wasn't
want
trying.
to hear this guy say it was his first time, because you guys have been planning this for what, 3 months, right?
Yes.
2 months,
With no
something
mic.
like for
The
months.
mics-
Months.
mic-
No, the mics do not change. The mics do not change the fact that the song was out of your range.
The song was not. It wasn't.
It was not in your
It was
range.
possible.
You guys hear this guy? You hear this guy? I don't want to hear from him anymore.
But
The only thing never rehearsing with a mic.
we did, but it just never was plugged in. Actually,
That's not rehearsing with the mic, dude. A microphone. I'm not an English major. I'm not an English teacher. The etymology of microphone is the fact that it can pick up your voice and amplify it. So
But we didn't have the proper tech for that.
Yeah, just for the people for the people that didn't hear that, we have another guy in this room who just said practicing singing without a mic in a band performance is like practicing playing trumpet but without the mouthpiece.
You want to hop in? All that is not making it in.
Hi, I'm Lawrence
so.
Leverett, by the way.
Yeah, so you guys have seen most of
Even
these
though I'm
guys.
the-
Chris is really the
Even
only
though
new
I'm the
person
villain,
here.
I'm the hero of the story.
Okay,
I'm
so
the main protagonist.
we got it. We got 2 shade throws. Lawrence, you have anybody you want to throw shade at?
Anybody I want to throw shade at? I mean, like, not really. I mean, I guess I'm gonna throw a little bit of shade at Richard for not giving me any of his freaking cookies yesterday.
Yeah. Poor Lawrence. He's running out of days to get free
Episode
food.
2.
Okay, okay,
I'm gonna doubly throw shade. This guy asks me for food every
Okay,
day.
but listen,
I have
listen,
not had
though.
a recipe.
No, but listen,
The day of my
listen, listen,
birthday,
listen.
I bought a coffee. It was a very, very delicious venti caramel frap. And you want to know what this guy does? He steals the drink and he sips it without my permission. My birthday drink, might I add.
That was
And
on your birthday?
It was on my birthday.
It was a birthday gift.
Your birthday gift was stealing my food.
Now he has a little bit of me wherever he goes.
I hate you. Oh my god.
Give him the hantavirus.
I'm not gonna give him the hantavirus.
Well, that was actually one of our test topics. Do you guys? I mean, I don't know if any of you guys are really into the news. Has that made any ground lately, or we kind of got rid of it?
The last I heard of it was that it was spreading a tiny bit in Nebraska, if I remember
Leave it to
correctly.
Nebraska. What's even out there? What the hell?
Troy shade is thrown also towards Nebraska.
Yeah, there you go. I normally don't throw shade, but Nebraska, come on, get your crap together.
For our Nebraska viewers, no offense, but come on.
Imagine we actually have one person in Nebraska watching.
Wow.
They're just in the comments,
They're
just
just
what the heck, bro?
We went 5 weeks with under the radar, and he got us finally.
The title for this podcast episode should be
Nebraska no more. What'd you say?
That's Nebraska.
Oh, I said Nebraska no more.
Chill. That's like half his population.
Dang, that's a good one, actually. Ouch. Okay, alrighty. Well, since we all have seniors here, let's go to this question. What are some things that you guys are worried about heading into? I'm assuming college or community college or whatever it is.
Wait, is that ChatGPT you have open?
No, it's his notes app.
Oh, it looked like ChatGPT.
I bet you're real familiar with ChatGPT, huh?
I got real familiar here.
I know you guys might have answered it a little bit, but we can go into a little bit more detail. But let's get Lawrence involved since he's joining us or new,
So you said what I'm worried about for college?
or whatever you decide to do after high school. What are you most worried about?
I would, in my opinion, it would mainly be just making money for myself because obviously I'm gonna still be living with my mom, so I don't know if when I do eventually get a job, if I'm gonna I'm gonna have to manage my money in a certain way to also have to have some money for myself, but I don't even get to use it on my wants. I have to use it mainly on my needs, and also just helping out with my family in general. Just that, also just the new college experience in general. It's just very nerve-wracking, but I know that I'm gonna be able to handle it because I'm Lawrence. I'm Lawrence. Come on.
Who are you?
What does that mean?
It means I'm the GOAT.
I mean, really quickly, he'll need money, especially if he wants food, since he can't ask me for it anymore.
Going into money, one of my biggest worries for the future after high school is definitely how I want to control my money. It's something I've been really thinking about because once I get a job, there's no point having job. I'm just gonna spend all of it on Chipotle or wherever. So I definitely want to, because again, I said before, I want to save up for a car. I want to go out more, be socially active, but I want to keep my the word is called frugal, I think. being very stingy with your money. And even though stingy with your money sounds very oppressive, it has a connotation to it.
Damn myself for saving money.
Is this like self-internal? Is
It's
this
a good-
self-internalized
it's-
classism?
it's-
That's hilarious.
It's a good thing to save money. My brother has developed that habit too, and we're still going to a Bruno Mars concert, but he has developed that habit of saving his money and only spending it on special occasions like Bruno Mars concert tickets, and that's really one main thing I'm worried about for the future.
I mean, let's go 3 for 3. My biggest worry is also money. I mean, just the state of the economy currently. It's
Gas
just-
prices.
Sounds like a full-on adult.
Can we just
I am
talk
an
about-
adult, thank you.
Full-on adult? I don't
I'm an
think
adult.
so.
Your
Not a
brain,
minor.
your brain ain't even finished developing, dog. That's like 4
Okay,
years from
little
now.
bro. You're still 17. I don't want to hear about it.
2 months and like 8 days, by the way.
You're still
Okay,
asking
little
people for food, bro.
Hey, at least I can sing in the right pitch.
Ooh.
Okay, anyway.
Dang, all right. I mean, yeah, I personally have quite bad spending habits. I consistently have very little money to do with what I like doing. Of course, I save money on the side for stuff that I actually need to. It's just every time that I go out with friends or I have this like event that I really want to go to, I just get caught up in having like as much merchandise as I really want. I'm a super big fan of getting a bunch of merchandise, going and getting food. It's just I have very little spending money, and I really want to like start saving up, especially since I really want to get my own instrument, my own piccolo, because again, I'll be going into music, I'll be going into playing flute, and I also really want to play piccolo really, really badly. So I just kind of have to like own my own, and it would just be really nice if I could start getting into that habit of saving money a lot more efficiently than I currently do, just to be able to buy that piccolo and just, I don't know, perform what I really want to perform.
Well, I've talked to my kids about saving money because of this year's, strike and how, teachers will be making more money. So I remember asking them, and I remember seeing their faces. They actually really enjoyed that conversation. I go, if I'm going to make this amount more money, do you think I should spend that money or save it? And they were all like, save it. I'm like, thank God you guys know the difference. It's hard.
Save to spend it.
No, that's actually not wrong. Yeah, the best way to be rich is to spend money, but you have to save it first. What I always do is, I set myself every month, and it changes, but I try to set myself $2,000 save every month. With this hopeful pay raise coming next month, that'll go up, obviously. But you have to really, especially with finances, there's other things in your life that you guys can be a little bit more like lenient about, but finances, you have to be really strict. You set yourself a goal and you stick to it. However, I feel like you should give yourself at least, because I know I do this, if you're getting an actual income, let's say you guys have a job and you're making consistent money, I think you're allowed at least 1 to 2 months of indulging. I don't think there's anything wrong with 2 months out of the entire year where you're kind of spending more for what you want and not necessarily worrying about what you need, But again, that comes from a very comfortable living situation like me where I can save a lot more because I don't have to spend a whole lot. But you want to prioritize saving, but at the same time, let yourself indulge. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but don't get carried away with the indulging part. I think that's the big deal. So many times kids will get a job and they're like seeing this money come in. They're like, oh yeah, time to go to Disney World. You know how expensive Disney World is? It's like crazy. I keep seeing these posts where it's like these things are cheaper than going to Disney World, and it's like trips to Europe and Asia and all this stuff. And Disney World is in Florida. That's a domestic flight. It shouldn't be expensive. but it's expensive. I don't even know. I don't even want to look at how expensive it is because it scares me.
You're telling me that it's less expensive to go to like France than it is to go to freaking Disney
Yeah.
World?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember being reposted all over the place where someone did the math and it's actually cheaper to get a flight to Japan and going to Disney World in Japan than going to Disney World in Florida.
Yeah.
And I thought grad
Asia's not cheap.
grad night was expensive.
For reference, our grad night ticket was what, $320?
No, okay. Little side rant about that. You would think that the discount for grad night would be like a low amount, right? Like if you're like, I don't remember what you're on, like the
There was a
parent.
discount?
Yeah, if you're
Oh,
on
the
like the parent.
PTSA?
Yeah, the PTSA. Like you'd think it'd go down to like, you know, like 150, like 50%. It goes from 320 to 300.
Ouch.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
it was a difference
that's
of $20.
that's it.
Ooh, that's rough. That also reminds me when I saw like the yearbook pre-orders, it was like, I think I'm just gonna pick a arbitrary number. It was like, yearbooks $205, pre-order $200. I'm just like, bro, what is that $5 gonna do? Like, come on.
Oh yeah, arbitrary number. Sorry, I got some.
But the official sign was kind of like that. The pre-order price was very not much different than the actual price. I'm just like, why would you do that? But yeah, you gotta save money, okay? Especially if you're in a situation where you still get to live with your family and they're not going to charge you for rent. Save money, okay? It's just, I see so many times kids are just, flaunting their wealth because they have it, and then they end up having like long stretches where they literally, I can't go out, I literally have to eat bread.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
If you work a minimum wage job like McDonald's, how much money do you think you should spend and put to savings?
I've seen charts, and I kind of live my life kind of like this. 50% of your paycheck should go to saving, no matter what. So let's say minimum wage, what, $18?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say you just work one hour. $9 of that paycheck should be saved. The other 9 should go to whatever else you need. Obviously, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but let's say you're working, let's say 10 hours, because that's an easy number. 5 days a week, minimum wage for 10 hours. So that's 180 plus 5 times 5. That is 900 for the week. Okay? Yeah. That's what happens when you don't use AI.
Josh.
So, I'm not trying to be a teacher here, but you have 900 for the week. How much should you put away in saving?
450.
Okay, so then the rest of that can go to things that you need and things that you want. And then, and obviously you do that on a monthly basis because you don't get paychecks for the week. So, yeah, just that's what I would say. That's everywhere that I've seen is 50%. You just keep it. Hold on to it. If you're really good with finances, then you can put that 50 that you're saving into investing. But I can't give you any advice on that because I don't have any information on it. And I'm definitely not the type of person to be like, oh, you should do it. I have no knowledge of it. Because I don't want to set you guys up for failure. I feel like money is a very good strength of mine, but not in, that kind of aspect. So, okay. All right. We are approaching 30 minutes left, so we'll stick to one more thing on our script, which is this or that. What should we do today?
I vote that.
This.
Oh, tiebreaker.
I'm going to have to say this.
Oh, okay. This week I did not switch it. Okay. So the question is, what would graduation requirements look like for you if you got to create them?
You want to go first?
Go first. You seem very eager to answer this.
My answers are going to be very controversial, so I'm going to save it for last.
Okay. Oh. No. I insist you go first.
Look at this politician over here.
When I was watching one of your podcasts and I saw the how you guys were ranting about the 4 years of PE. I think yes. I think yes. You should have 4 years of PE because I feel like with 4 years of PE PE is boring. I feel like no kid will want to do PE. So if we force them to go and choose to a sport that is, contributes to their school, and I feel like having that strong connection and that contribution will make a school, perform better. Obviously, I rather don't want to have like 80,000 freshmen in the football team just to get slimed out by Granada, but but like I feel like having the 4 years of PE is definitely one of them. I think everything else is roughly fine. I'm not a magnet, so I can't really say anything for the comp side like this
Me
kid.
too.
For
This
this
guy's
kid,
the only loser magnet kid. I just want to point out.
Shout out to all my magnet fit. No, I'm joking.
I feel like if you want to do a AP comp sci or engineering, that should follow either between a visual visual thing, or it should go with science, and not be its own category and force people to go into summer school. And same thing with maybe ethnic studies, that could be part of history, kind of like how government falls into a history. And definitely what was it, interactions. So one thing that I had to take for my sophomore year that most other kids don't have to take unless they're a magnet or they're just kind of smarter is that kids, if you're a non-magnet residential or you didn't exceed in biology, you had to take interactions for your sophomore year. And that's definitely, to me, like a waste of a period, waste of time. You could easily, if you want to, get into that type of field, there's physics for that for a reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly hop in here. I really, really wanted to take physics my sophomore year, but I was told I couldn't do it because it would be given priority to magnet students, and I wasn't about to apply to magnet just so I could get priority into physics. So I just let my counselor put me into interactions, and I just had to deal with it, I guess. And I don't know. I feel like I really would have loved doing physics because I really love doing math personally. It's one of my favorite subjects. Shout out to Mr. Kim. I'm pretty sure I'm his favorite teacher.
Preach. Wait, you're his favorite teacher?
Or sorry, I'm his favorite student. Ah! I'm pretty sure I'm his favorite student, and then that's like one of my, I don't know if I should be proud of that or not, that I'm the favorite student of like this 50, 60-year-old Korean guy.
Quick stray. These guys don't know Mr. Kim like I do. They have him for honors pre-calc. I had him for advanced math last year. Do you know who TR is?
And what did you have in his class?
A B.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He said B. Yeah, Mr. Kim is pretty cool.
Anyways, continue your graduation requirements, Chris.
If I'm just gonna make them up right now, 4 years of English, 3 years of math, 2 years of science, but interactions definitely shouldn't be forced upon. I'd say 1 year of language. I took 1 year of language.
It's 2 years.
It's 2 years. I took 1 year of Spanish speaking, and I still can't speak Spanish. And I took half semester of Spanish learning, and I was failing that class. So I swapped that out for art. And I feel like you're a high schooler, so if you know if you know how to speak a language, it should only take 1 year to do the class and get over with. You shouldn't need to take 2 years of a class. And if you don't know the language, you're willing to learn it, then that's when you take the time to sacrifice your periods, build your schedule, maybe take 3 years of Spanish learning, something I should do, but I don't want to do. So that's why for sophomore year, I wasted 2 of my periods.
Kind of want to counteract that a little bit. I feel like 2 years of language is actually like kind of good because like the way my mom puts it, it like helps you make more money. Like you're able to talk to way more people about a lot of different things if you're able to speak a language like fluently, especially like Spanish, because like specifically like for where we live in California, there's a lot of people who speak Spanish here, so I feel like it helps in that regard. But like other than that, it's like whatever.
No, I totally agree with that statement, like as a whole, but you learn a Spanish when you're young. Most people, everyone that I know that can speak more than 2 languages doesn't learn the language from high school. They learn it from their birth. They learn it from when they were in elementary school, when they were growing up. You don't learn a Spanish. You don't learn Spanish, Korean, French, whatever type of freaking thing they have. ASL from 2 years from high school, from doing work, paperwork.
I like to learn a Spanish too. Oh, are you done? Are you done?
Are you done, Chris?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Lawrence.
Well, with graduation requirements, I feel like they're fine, but there are a couple of changes. Like, for one, I feel like history, I'm going to just go out and say I hate history. Like, history sucks. It is so boring. Like, ever heard of focus on the present? Like, come on. Like, the social economic state of the world right now, I don't need to focus about that. Like, I don't need to know how it all came to be. I need to know how to move
I'm
forward.
going to counter that when we get to mine.
How did World War One started?
It was bad.
This kid.
Like, people died, bro. It was bad.
All right, little bro.
But I feel like history should be like a 2-year thing. Is it already a 2-year
It's
thing?
already a 2-year thing.
Oh, well, no, like what? I think that history. Oh, wait, can I introduce him?
Finish your
Oh.
point, and then we'll introduce Ian after.
I feel like history should be like a 1-year class, and it should be optional if you want to take it more, because I just don't see it as necessary. Also, quick little thing, like a quick little bit of magnet lore. So basically, for magnet student, don't roll your eyes at me. Basically, for magnet students, when you enter the program, you have to pick a certain pathway, and it gives you certain classes that you like have to take, like either like a cybersecurity pathway, which teaches like specific classes towards that, or a computer science pathway, which makes you take 2 years of computer science. That also sucks. It should not be like that. I feel like once you join the magnet, it should just allow you to take magnet-esque classes without forcing you to be like tied into a super specific thing. Because like, what if someone doesn't want to do AP computer science or cybersecurity? Like, it should just be like free to choose whatever you want.
Didn't you be like me and take those classes and not be in a magnet?
I also took AP Comp Sci, and I wasn't in Magnet. I just happened to get lucky with that. And that's where I met Caden. I miss Caden.
Yeah, I miss Caden too. But as for my other graduation requirements, I feel like English should be cut down to like 3 years. It's like both sides for me. Like, I get why it's 4 years, but also like reading isn't like something that you really do in like a.
Reading is so important.
No, I know, but like you really only. No, like I have an A. I have an A.
You sure?
Yes. You did not just say super F. But like, it's important, but like the stuff that I learn in my classes is really just like reading like literature, and like I don't feel like literature is used a lot, but like reading and understanding text is very important.
You're taking AP Lit. You could take ERWC or where it's called.
Well, I'm a scholar.
SWC.
Well, I'm a magnet scholar, so that's why.
Look at this pretentious Magnet kid.
Look at this unpretentious regular kid.
Look at the
Unpretentious?
look at this LARPer.
Bro, he's being socialant right now. It's not even real.
Anyway, math is my favorite subject, so I think math is fine where it is. Like, I feel like everyone needs to learn math, despite them being like, oh, when am I going to need to use the Pythagorean theorem when I'm working my job? Like, it's still good to understand math. Like, school.
Did you like not take math your junior year?
Well, that was only because it didn't fit in my schedule because I value band. So, yeah. But,
The only good thing he said on this podcast so far.
okay, anyway. But I feel like a lot of the graduation requirements are fine because school isn't really meant. I feel like school, yes, it's meant to teach you the specific subjects, but it's also teaching you it's also letting you learn how to learn, you know, like learning how you take in information and how you use it and apply it. I feel like that's what school's all about. And like in terms of graduation, I feel like the requirements like replicate that. Also, wait, is ethnic studies a requirement?
Requirement for after our year.
Oh yeah, no, get that out of here. Like, bro, like that's just like a class that no one like really needs. Like that should be like an extra class, you know. But that's all from me.
It was a little.
And-
So I'm sorry, Lawrence, to cut you short.
Wait,
but
I
we are running
was
short on
gonna
time.
introduce Ian though. We do have it.
Someone else.
Oh, okay.
Lawrence, You take the spotlight. Introduce the new fellow.
Yeah, let's
This is Ian. What's your last name? Ian Marroquin. He's one of our.
Yeah, we have Lawrence Leveretti, Christian. Yeah, whatever he just said. Richard Marukin and Ian Marukin. Yeah, sure. We are not related, by the way.
One of our. What can I finish? Can I finish? One of our new freshmen. So say hi.
Hi. I did it. You're
He
welcome.
did it.
Okay, and now
Okay,
back to you, Richard.
So now to me. Okay, so first off, I just want to say, Lawrence, I completely disagree with your lowering the English classes. I also want to point out that I am a firm believer that we should have one extra period to do for another class. I think that having 6 periods, while sure it gets you the bare minimum, you really don't. You're really just doing the bare minimum. PE, I completely agree that it should be 4 years, even though I only did 2 years of it. I agree that it should be 4 years.
For how
At
much
the very
you,
least, an equivalent of 4 years.
for how much you guys are like staying inside playing video games a lot? You guys really want to do PE for 4 years?
Says this guy.
Says you.
You log more hours than me.
That is not true. That is not true, Choi. Choi, I know that look. It's not true.
Anyways,
I can't even play Roblox
um,
for 2 hours straight anymore.
Anyways, this guy, 3 years of math should stay the same. I agree there. I mean, 2 years of history, it's all right. I'd prefer 3 personally. Like Chris mentioned a bit earlier when we were talking about history, the entire concept of World War II happened because we didn't learn from our mistakes of World War One. It's an important part of having history is learning from that history so we don't make the same mistakes. The burning of Alexandria, if I can add that, perhaps, no, not even perhaps, it was the biggest archive of human knowledge at one point in time. And because someone decided that he wanted to burn down the Library of Alexandria, we no longer have access to a lot of knowledge that would have exponentially increased the growth of human technology, human knowledge, human everything. And it's so important that we have access to that history so that way we can learn and build upon it. It's just so important to me. What is it? Chicano Studies. That class can be summed up in an email. You take history class, you take any language class, you basically are taking ethnic studies. I just finished a year of Spanish class. I learned, one of the requirements of taking that Spanish class was learning the culture of Spanish. Of the Spanish language of Spanish-speaking countries, and it's basically the same thing as ethnic studies, just a bit more focused, I guess. If you want to take ethnic studies, go ahead. It's just I don't think it should be required at all. Health, I mean, yeah, that one is important, I will say.
Too many
I
kids
won't
getting
disagree.
pregnant.
Too many kids are getting pregnant, yeah. Well, too many kids getting pregnant and getting people pregnant. It's important that teenagers have the ability, or just people, actually, not just teenagers, people have access to the knowledge that is required to like be a fully functioning adult.
Keep it in the rubber if you don't want to pay for extra supper.
That was
I'm writing that down somewhere.
Wait, Richard, let me ask you something real quick
Yeah.
before we move on. At the end, Canoga Park has 8 periods. How do you do it?
8
Is
periods.
8 periods. They switch it from evens to odds.
No, I hate block schedule.
block schedule is interesting. No, I think the way of having every class the same day, or sorry, not the same day, just repeating the classes every day makes sense. It's just maybe not even a full class, but a 7th period or even a 0 period of just a study hall has the amazing benefits of having students be able to prepare for their next classes. It allows them to, again, as the name implies, study for any tests, catch up on any homework that they might have. It's an important just period of time where students can even spend resting, exhausted from all their other classes. Just having that 7th period that isn't lunch, or just essentially what I'm saying is we should have another period that's dedicated to a recess, I guess you could call it. Just having a period, an extended period of time where students can take a break, catch up on anything that they might need to. And sure, they might abuse it, but that's the same thing for every other class that they have. It's just I believe that there should be that.
When
Okay, go ahead, Lawrence.
when you say like a seventh period, do you mean like a time before school or after school, or like?
I mean, I mentioned zero period. You could easily just do that with any of your other classes. You could have a zero period of math, zero period of English, zero period of, we could have easily had a zero period for music.
Okay.
Oh yeah, speaking on that actually, on the arts, instead of the 1 year required, I believe it should be 2 year required. Not because I am severely, involved?
Biased.
Oh, biased, I guess would be that term as well. But the entire concept of the Renaissance was based off of art, and a lot of human progress was because it was inspired by the Renaissance. And the Renaissance, in case you don't know, was entirely art. And it was because of that art that we were able to push forward out of the not Middle Eastern ages, the medieval ages, the Dark Ages, that we were able, what is it also called? The second, or the rebirth, or something like that. It's just, art is such an important part of human culture that having it be required for only 1 year feels like a detriment to the growth of society, a disservice. Thank you. Yeah, a disservice to growing as humans. Same thing with English. Having it be required for 4 years is the bare minimum, especially with the literary crisis, or the literacy crisis that's been going on recently. A lot of people not being able to understand media. A lot of people believing what they hear at first and having no further research. It's just
Nice.
incredibly.
Troy just dropped some paper.
Nice. He did just drop something, but it's incredibly sad how we're looking at things, and it feels almost like we're devolving and having access to so much stuff but not being able to understand it is so sad, and is basically why the Renaissance happened in the first place. So yeah, those, as not as controversial as I thought it out to be, but I still feel like these things are so important to us as people, as humans.
And I want to add on to one more thing. With I do believe that any visual performance arts should be 2 years, especially since what we have in our school. What's the thing called where the electives, you make you do like 2 years, the 2-year elective plan to like find a career pathway?
Yeah, the career pathways.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's just called career
The
pathways.
career pathways are literally our electives, and career pathways is gonna be, how what determines our future, what would determine our future, get us into an area that we could be comfortable with, and if we like it, then we have it as a career. And only having it for 1 year seems detrimental, I guess.
Yeah, having the first year to learn that art, and then having the second year to advance on it. Definitely not master. Arts take years of continuous repeating to master it. Just having that first year to learn it, and then having that second year to expand upon it, is what I believe the most effective way of having a an art class in school period. Lawrence, you probably are going to say something, but we are really running really short on time, so I want to ask Ian, just in case you haven't, thought of what this question was. The question is, what do you believe graduation requirements should be? If you want to, can you summarize what you think graduation requirements should be? Only if you want to answer the question, of course.
Okay, well, now that you've said the question, I haven't really had much time to think about it. I think the 2-year period is okay. I can only just really hope that people at least keep themselves and their health in check, so as to not grow unhealthy, like diabetes or something. But
Like for PE?
yeah, I think the 2-year graduation requirement should be, kept.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Lawrence.
But you are a freshman and you are starting high school. Is there like anything like this year? And you're in a magnet, I assume, right?
Yes.
So you're having a lot more strains come upon you. Is there like anything? Let's say you didn't take band this year. Oh no, since you are taking band this year, what are you sacrificing to appeal to the graduation requirements? And sacrifice, it could mean taking summer school, maybe taking ingenuity course on the side, or like sacrificing a language class and or saving it for a senior year and all that. Like,
Yeah, I ended up sacrificing my Spanish class, so I'm saving that for junior and senior year. Awesome. But like I might maybe take a college class over the summer for that. I don't know. There's a chance.
would you wish that the Spanish class be
Sweet. Sorry. What were we on about again?
Spanish?
Yeah, we were just on Spanish. There was an announcement, so we're gonna cut that out of the video. But yeah, we're back now.
I'll just ask you this: would you want to have Spanish be only for 1 year rather than 2?
No, I think the 2 years should be okay. You gotta at least like have it stick in your mind somewhat throughout life, because some people don't speak English, so it's good to have the ability to speak another language if you come across it.
All right, we are out of time now. We want to thank you guys for coming to this episode of the podcast. Troy isn't here to do the outro unless he wants to do it right now, as we have a lot of guests joining in. Here he is. Actually, he'll take over now.
Okay, bye.
Later, Ian.
Well, thank you everybody for checking out our first season of Chatting It Up at Chatsworth. We are going to continue to try to have this next year, but obviously it might not be as consistent, just because once the season truly does begin, I will definitely not have as much time to prioritize this, and obviously I don't want my kids to prioritize about this because we have more important things to do. So we'll try our best to keep it alive and well. I think the kids really enjoyed it. It's kind of just their chance to, just talk about things that are not, things that they're being graded on, or it just allows them to be free, and I think it's a good idea to let them do that. So we appreciate all the support. Like I've been saying, be sure to check us out on the SASB away circuit next year. We're going to try to go back to back next year. I know that's a championship term, but back to back in terms of qualifying as best we can. So thank you everybody so much, and we'll see you next year. Bye.